Live one, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions bearish in a bull market still. Although we are extreme right here, we're seeing momentum. We talked about this yesterday. The momentum indicator is now down in the extreme range. It was even further down. It started to move back up a little bit here. You can see that on the red line. That momentum line is that red line. We're also seeing the breadth line also at extreme, but starting to move back up at these lower levels. At the extreme location. Sentiment also is where we would like to see that for bullish location. So we're seeing green across the board in terms of a extreme reversal risk location for market conditions, and we're also seeing buy-sell ratio starting to curl back together again. Now that brings the buy-sell ratio back up to 0.15. It was 0.10 yesterday. And sentiment is also at an extreme and bouncing. The low here was 10.98. The low here, 9. The low here, 13. The low here, 12. So in both of these bottoms right here, we had been seeing some divergence, but now we're seeing an equal move on the sentiment indicator, but we do have that in divergence with price activity. So with S&P 500, that sentiment low was here and now it's here. So we're at an extreme area, but we're also getting some divergence with price where we have lower level on price and we're getting sentiment which is not matching that. But it is at an extreme level. So lots of things here looking for a bounce of some kind. We're also seeing sectors that are starting to have a few that are moving back up into the uptrend. Utilities, consumer goods popped on the uptrend, on the short-term trend, and then the signal starting to get a little bit of strength here, basic material, but we've still got a lot of work to do. Would like to see some of these start to notch back up into short-term trends, but we're pretty deeply oversold on most of these indices or most of these sectors right now. If we take a look at some of the current muscle stocks that are popping into the list here, we've got CBAY, CBAY, which had a nice move. That's the top stock in the list and also probably one of the better looking ones because it has moved back up into that momentum zone, which is what we want to see, connecting to this high and this low and still retracing back inside. It pulled all the way back to a 50% retracement on this high here and then starting to work its way back up. It is approaching this upper extreme range that can still stay extreme for a length of time, but a nice looking stock for the top one of the list today. Let me just refresh here, make sure we've got the right group. And the rest of them actually are kind of ugly. They don't look great. I have to buy out on this on the next one. SkyWest, which is an airline, had a big move the day before yesterday. Continued to move higher up in the momentum zone, kind of a fading bar where you have that topping tail bar, meaning that it opened here, it rallied, and then it pulled all the way back down again. Still in that upper range though. We may be seeing some igniting of the transportation area. We'll have to take a look and see if we go into sectors. We can look at, we can look at the transportation area sector here and then look to see which ones are leading. We know that the shippers are leading. Those have really been doing well, and we're getting a lot of stocks that are really popping. FRO has been a big leader, and lots of those shipping stocks have really been taking off. All of these just really look good. GASS, and that actually was in the group yesterday and continuing to move. So we're seeing a nice move on transportations. Let me go back here and see where those airlines are to see if we're getting any. And we've got two, nothing in the hold range, so pretty deeply oversold on airlines. The only two that we've got in that list, SkyWest is one of them, GOL, which I believe is a Brazilian airline. Not entirely sure, but I think that's the case. Bottoming out here and looking for a potential continuation of that overall uptrend. Not bad. So a few indications of some in areas of the economy starting to bounce. I should say different sectors that are starting to move. And SkyWest. The other one's Spotify. which is still in a shorter term downtrend, but it had a big gap higher and now is retracing. Could see some follow through on Spotify. Let's look at a couple of others here. CNTA medical stock, again, nothing, lots of volatility there, nothing too exciting. Ranks at 96, rank 95 here on ANIP. I like this one. It's a little bit smoother price pattern. Also has some nice fundamentals where you've got lots of green here. You're seeing some earnings. You're seeing relatively smooth pattern, not a lot of real jumpiness, even from day to day. And now you're seeing a bounce inside of that 382 range and moving back up inside the momentum zone. 95 rank, really anything above 90 is still going to be strong stocks that you could add those for into watch lists or look for additional criteria if you've got different scans and setups that you want different criteria. Right now we're just going through the new buy list. We can obviously tighten that up based on different criteria that you set inside of the screener. We'll watch for continuation on any moves today. Let's take a look at the leading sector. We're seeing utilities still continue, the top 7 in that group. GNE has been a huge mover, and it's actually had another big bounce yesterday, 4%. It's up from 15 to 20, retraced back to the momentum zone, and is now looking for some follow through. So whatever is happening there on GNE is continuing to work. You're seeing some interest and some demand there. SHEN as well, some volatility there, but utilities are the leading sector. Currently, we're seeing some different things starting to happen. Market conditions are oversold, looking for a bounce right here to see if we at least get a bounce off of this bottom. Let's actually go back and look at that S&P 500 chart. And let's go out to that 1 year time frame. So we're on the 1 year. I'm actually going to even go out a little bit further than that, and we will grab that low that's right there. I want to see what that low ends up looking like. And so we're at the low, the swing low, swing high. We've got a lot of support. That 403 is that 50% retracement. If we can't clear up above this 416 range on S&P 500, we may test that 403, that 50% zone. If we can clear back up above the 416 and hold that, then we start that, that rung in the ladder type idea where we're moving back up. You can see that's now the ceiling. If we can get up above it and create a floor, create some demand, then we've got an opportunity for some more upside. If this is just going to create a resistance area here and then we roll back back down to that 403. But again, some of the other indicators are helping us to say, yeah, we're deeply oversold. It can continue to slide lower, but we're in an area that we're going to be watching for. The higher probability is for a bounce to move higher, take us out of those extreme levels. But resistance here on S&P 500 has got a little bit of work to do. The markets look like they may gap up a little bit today, and let's see if we get a little bit of follow through off of yesterday's move on the markets as a whole. That'll do it for today's update. If you don't have full access to the site and software, you can sign up with the link below, and we look forward to having you. Have a fantastic day today.